Hello, it's me, and I've got another puzzle here that I unboxed a little while ago. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-sided puzzle, so it's kind of like a pentagonal prism. So a pentagonal prism is where you have an equatorial layer that is one shape. In this case, it looks like a square, much like you'd see with just a crazy 3x3, but then you've got a pentagonal area over here. So another brilliantly designed 3D rendered puzzle. And what it is all of these are stationary. So as you can see, these circles don't move. And these circles don't move. It's the same all the way around the puzzle. Moves obviously really well. Now there's always a little bit of a limitation because I find that some of these circles start to move with it. What's also interesting is these top circles also don't move. So they remain stationary. So there is a limitation a little bit in the scramble, but now notice with this kind of moves with it a little bit. It's not supposed to and it stops, but it does cause some alignment issues. I tried lubricating it to see if I can smooth that out, and it did help a little bit, but I think until this is mass produced with plastic puzzles, it's going to be like that. But anyway, I thought I'd demonstrate this puzzle and see what it would be like to have a go at the solve. So I'm going to first look to see if there's any algorithms that I can use with this. What I can do first is go into spoiler-free territory, just look at the puzzle, show you what it is, scramble it, and see how you like how it moves to see if this is something that you want. And then from there, maybe kind of get into scramble territory or algorithm territory. So I'll let you know when we start to get into spoilers. So let's start off with a good scramble here. And I'm going to do this without guiding. Now, if this should become mass-produced, then maybe I'll be a little bit more descriptive and show the algorithms first to allow you time to solve the puzzle yourself. But until that time, some of you collectors out there may decide you may want to add this to your collection. But as you know, there are some puzzles that you may have added to your collection that are just not playable. So you can see that occasionally I have to struggle a little bit. Notice how this is off-center, so I just have to move it here. I would say a mild inconvenience, not totally trivial, but an inconvenience. So I'm just going to move the top here, and I'm trying to separate these out as much as possible. So I will say that generally speaking, I'm very satisfied with the motion of the puzzle. And I think the more I break it in, the better it is. Now, I have some puzzles that I unboxed that unfortunately I've not been able to do much of a tutorial on it because the movement is so difficult and so cumbersome that I just wasn't able to take the time to do it. It just took too much time to try to move the puzzle. Okay, so how are we doing in terms of a scramble? We're good? Yeah, I think we're good. So there it is in terms of the demonstration of the puzzle itself. I would say that the movement is pretty good. There's a couple of lockups, but as you can see, it didn't really prevent me from still using the puzzle and having somewhat of a pretty good time with it. Okay, so there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and get into spoiler territory and go through the solve of it. So anytime I see a puzzle like this, I see that there is an equatorial layer. There's sort of a middle layer, and I also see that some of these just don't scramble much. In other words, this will never be at a different position than right next to this piece over here. So no matter what I do, I'm going to maintain the order of this piece. Now, there could be a crazy version of this where, say, this is stationary, and then when I turn this, this will move with that, and no doubt that would enhance the challenge of the puzzle. So this is kind of more of a limited type scramble. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is get this in, and I might as well line up the outer with the inner. And what's interesting about crazy puzzles is that they're kind of puzzles within puzzles. So let's see how we can do this. I see this is here, but it's upside down. When I see that, it means I have to take it all the way around. So let's kind of do that. I'm going to move this to here, then I'm going to move it around, around, and around, and that should bring me back to a position where it's not upside down. If I move this here, then I can move this into here. But if I do that, this is going to be out. I'm going to take this out. So let's see. Now, I've not solved this puzzle before, so what I'll do is I'll take this green, match it to here so it can come in contact, articulate with this. I'm going to now move this crazy version to here. So now this is lined up, And now I can take this blue and match it to here, around, and you can see, bang, we're in. So that's good. Now I can continue along in here. So I'll look for the green, the outer green and orange. Outer green and orange is right here. If I move this in, I can see that it's not upside down. What I have to do is I have to move this green to here to match with this. So let's move this green over to here so I can match these two. Splat. And now I can match this orange to here. Clink. And now we have these guys in. Okay. How about the orange? So here's the orange here. I'll just kind of move this in to get perspective. Now I'm looking for the orange and red, and that is right here. Is it upside down? I move it here, and I can see that it is upside down because this orange is going to be upside down, which means that I have to approach it from the other way, which means I got to head into this territory. Okay, so to make room for that, I'm going to take this, I'm going to move this red over here, because I'm going to take this and turn this all the way around this side of the puzzle to match this red. So that's going to be turn, turn. Now I can match the red over here and turn. Okay. Having done that, I can now move this into place to here. Bang. Now I got to move some of these back because I already had them in. Turn and turn. Okay, now let's see what I did. I kind of had to do that to make this work, but as you can see, it did put some things out. So, let's see. Where's the blue? Here's the blue. This actually belongs over here. So let's move this out of the way. Bring this in, match this orange to here. Move this like so. Move this back. Take this. This has to move over to here, but this green is in the way. So let's move this out of the way. Move this to here. Move this in. Move this back. Now a lot of this feels kind of intuitive, but it did get this back and it moved this in as well. Now I got a little bit of a problem here where these both are here, but they're upside down. So upside down, I've got to move them in from the other direction. So I'm going to go turn, turn, turn. Okay, so this is going to be ready to move into here. But I got to go like turn, turn, so it's no longer upside down. Now I'm going to move this in like thus. Okay, now I'm going to turn this back over to here. And I think what I want to do is I want to turn this back here. Okay, I'm really just trying to reconstitute these pieces here. Oh, I got to get this orange in here. Get this green back over here. Get this back over here. And get this back over here. Okay, I'm trying to minimize the damage that I did with this. And that did move these right on the right side. Move this here and aha! Okay, so I don't have any algorithms to offer as to how I did that. It was really just a matter of recognizing when something's upside down, I have to send it sailing across the other way and just kind of do damage control. So it's the intuitive part of the solve. Okay, next we're going to hit one of these layers here. Let's go ahead and hit this one here. Now these never scrambled in conjunction with each other, so I can always move them back in, so these are all fine. But what about these guys over here? Should I get them in? Well, what I know from these crazy puzzles is that when they don't, when you don't have any sides that are not stationary, when you don't have any sides that move with that side, then these are very limited. So this piece here is probably the same as this piece. I say the same because anytime I move this, this piece and this piece are going to also turn. I turn it like this, they turn together. I turn it like this, they stay the same. So I would say that I'm not going to worry about these pieces at all. What I'm going to do is just get these in. Once I get these in, these will follow suit. Okay, so how do I do that? Well, let's find oranges on the bottom, yellows on the bottom. Here's a yellow and blue, so that's going to come up to here. So all I've got to do is take this, move this down, because this doesn't change, bring this up to match a yellow. I'm going to take this blue to move it up to here and splat. So that's in. And I'm just going to keep doing that with ones on the bottom here. So here's a purple. It's going to come to here. I'm going to move this green one out. Move it down. This comes in. So this yellow meets yellow, purple will meet purple, and move it up. So it's kind of like a supercube solve. So this is it. Okay, here's the green. Let's go ahead and move this green to here. So take this white out. So I can move this yellow down, match this yellow to this yellow here. Let's move this green to this up here, and now this is in. Okay, good, good, good. Oh, not so good. So let's find the red. Move this yellow down here. Match the yellows. I'm going to take the red, match the red. Okay, and the last one here, orange to orange. Move this just out of the way. I'm going to bring this down, this yellow down with this orange. Well, this is going to stay put. Bring this down, match yellow to yellow. Then orange to orange. Okay. So these are all in. Now, it just so happens that this corner is in and this corner is in. Now, look what happened. All of these are in. So they're the same piece as this. Now, I guess my scramble is not as good as I had wanted because this is in, and that just happened. But the way that I'm going to move these guys in is by a variant of the sliding U technique. So here's a red and purple. Here's red and purple here. What the sliding U technique entails is I'm going to move this here, and I'm going to take this and move it where it's supposed to be. Then I'm going to move it out, slide it to another layer where this intersects, and then move it out in that way. So here's what I mean. So this is going to move up to here. So simply move this in, bang, where it's supposed to be. So that's a 2L. I'm going to slide the U to another layer that's that intersects with this. I'm going to do it in 2R. Boom. I'm going to slide it back to here. Then I'm going to undo the moves that I did. So then 2L, slide it back here. See how this slid accidentally too. And then 2R. You can see that's in, and bang. Okay, so now that's in. So I'm going to do the same thing with this. This is a red and orange. So red and orange is going to come over to here. So move this to the opposite side. Same thing, sliding U technique. Bring this into here, 2R. Slide the U to another layer that intersects with this. So I'll do U. Then I'll do a 2L. Now I undo that. Slide it back, 2R. Slide it back over here, 2L. And now this is in. Okay, so that's working pretty well. Top layer is getting done. Now I'm going to do this one over here. Put this over to here. 2R. Slide the U across. 2L. Slide it back. Now see how that's out of alignment? Now I just have to pull it here and then move it back. 2R. Slide it back here. 2L. And in our layer by layer solve, this top layer is now done. So that is rather distracting, the malalignment. I wonder if there's a way to fix that. Anyway, now the last layer. And the last layer is always the most challenging, and this is the one that oftentimes requires algorithms. These are just going to be slid in like this. So that's not going to be a problem. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to get these in. If I get these in, I get these in. So you can see that they're off by wherever this is off. So to slide the edges in, I may do some variations of edge algorithms, some variations of edge swaps, adjacent or opposite edge swaps. And that has to do with algorithms like 2R to U, 2R to U, 2R to U. So I guess what I want to do, what this is going to do is, well, let's see what happens. I'm going to hold this over here and let's see what happens to my orange, my blue, my green, and my red, and my purple. So just remember that red is in front of me. Now, when I do these algorithms, usually this will stay the same. So red and purple will stay the same. I just have to remember that orange is over here. So what I'm going to do is instead of 2R to U, 2R to U, I have to make way for the 5 layers here. So what this should do is this should be the same, this should be the same. This will go here, this will go here, and this will go here. So look for the green one to be here, the yellow one to be here, orange one rather to be here, and the blue one to be here, with this red and this purple staying the same. Now, is that going to put any one of them in? Well, no. So why don't we do it this way instead? The red will go to here and be in, the blue will go here, and the purple will go here. So by the end of this, these two should be in. These two should be lined up, and these should be the same. So let's see what happens. So what the algorithm is going to be is 2R. Instead of 2U, it's going to be 3U. 1, 2, 3, 3U. 2R, and now 4U. 1, 2, 3, 4, because I wanted to get it back to here. So 1 to here, then to here. And now we're going to do 2R and 3U. 1, 2, 3, and then 2R. So it's 2R, 3U, 2R, 4U, 2R, 3U, and then 2R. And as you can see, this purple is here, this red is here, this is the same, and this is over here. Okay, so we have an algorithm that can move these pieces over here. It's just a variation of the edge swaps, adjacent or opposite edge swaps. In this case, this is kind of like an opposite edge swap where these are equivalent to opposites, I suppose. So what happened is that these two got swapped. And that's similar to what happens with a crazy 3x3. But now I have two that are adjacent, so I may have done myself in a little bit. But what has to happen is this needs to go to here, this needs to go to here, and this needs to go to here. So how am I going to do that? Well, I just need to move this to here. And because nothing else got changed, none of the corners I don't think, is let's take this and move this to here without moving these. How am I going to do that? Well, let's make use of the bottom layer. So I'm going to move this down here. I'm doing some deconstruction. I'm going to move this up over here. And then I'm going to take this and move it up to here. Now I have to remember at the end of the algorithm to deconstruct it back. But notice this shouldn't change and this shouldn't change. But this should go here, this should go here, and this should go here, getting me what I need. So we'll just plug into the algorithm and remember to reconstruct it back. 2R, 3U, 1, 2, 3, 2R, 4U to get it back to here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now to get it all back, 2R, 3U, 1, 2, 3, and then 2R. Okay, having done that, let's reconstruct it back. You can see this is in and this is in. So this will come down to here. This came to here. And this came up to here. Okay, now there's a little bit of damage control because it did move some corners out, but that's okay because this is in, this is in, this is in, and this is in. Now, in terms of moving the corners, well, the corners I'm going to do that sliding U technique, basically. But I'm going to remember, or I'm going to bear in mind what happens with that technique. So if I turn this over to here, what's going to happen is that with whatever's facing us, it's going to go on the right side, which is here. This will go to here. Now, by the way, if you're wondering how I got that algorithm, what I was trying to do is I was trying to do as much as I could with opposite edge swap. And in the case of a crazy cube, these wouldn't swap, these would swap. So if this were a cube, these two would swap. So I had to go 3U to get it to here, then 4U to get it to here, then 3U to get it back to here. 1, 2, 3. So that's how I came up with 2R, 3U, 2R, 4U, 2R, 3U, just so that I can engage these pieces. And that's exactly what happened. Zip. Okay, so let's think what has to happen. Red and yellow. So remember, move on the bottom, the one that you're going to be doing most of the motion here. So let's see what has to go where. Because this will go here, this will go here, and this will go here. So these two pieces and this piece is going to be involved. So which is the one that has to be put in skipping over a piece? Red and purple has to go here. Green and blue has to go here. So maybe I want to move it in like this, because green and blue will end up over here. Which means if I start here, this to here, this to here, and this to here. Okay? Fair enough. Well, this one isn't in yet anyway, so let's move this into position. Okay, so this will go here, and not really matter. This will go here, and this is orange and green, so that's not going to matter. But this will go here, and will be in the proper place. So 2L, slide it to the right, 2R, slide it to the left, 2L, slide it back to the right, my goodness, and 2R, and we'll slide it back. So what did that do? Well, I don't know that it did what I wanted to do. Oh, you know what, I have to do it one more time for this to go here. And this blue and purple will go here. So let's try it again. So this will come to here, slide it, 2R, slide it, 2L, slide it, and 2R, slide it back. Okay, so now this is in. That's what I wanted to do. So what do I have left? Well, what I actually have left then is I've got 3 pieces. This is in, this is in. Let's actually move this in place so we can see it better. Everything is in but this piece, oh, actually there's 3 pieces that need to go in. Okay. So this red and orange, no, that doesn't go here. Well, this needs to go here. Blue and green needs to go here. So if that's what I wanted to coordinate, and I held it here, this would be in play, but we really don't want that to be in play. So I'm going to move it over to here. Okay. So the way that this is going to work, if I do it twice, this will go here and then down here. This will go here and then over here, and that's what I want. Green and blue will go over to here. Okay, so we'll just do it. 2R, turn, 2L, UI, 2R, U, 2L, UI. Okay, that got that back. And, well, one more will move this into here, which is what I want. Now, alternatively, I could just stop and say that, well, I've got 3 that are out. With these 3 that are out, let's just coordinate what needs to happen. Okay, this needs to go to here. This needs to go here. This needs to go here. So to coordinate these, I have to move one of them up here. And I have to make sure that they're opposite, they're separated by 1. So as long as I can have that configuration of something here, and something here. So what if I move this up like so, and then I move this down like thus? That's the proper configuration. And then I can easily remember what to move back. So if I do that, this green and blue will go to here, which is where it needs to be. This purple and blue will go here, which is where it needs to be, or maybe not. And this red and purple will go here, which is where it needs to be. So I think this should do it. So this to here, this to here, and this to here. And I just had to do a little bit of deconstruction to do it. So we have 2R, slide it to U, 2L, slide it to a UI, 2R, slide it back to U, 2L, slide it back to a UI. Okay, now we simply move it back. This will move back over to here. This will move here. And, aha! I think, yeah, done! Okay, so there you have it. Basically, just using the principles of 3 cycles, very simple algorithms, using a variation of the adjacent, or in this case the opposite edge swap, where I use these opposite here. I did something very similar with the Megaming solve, where I knew that I wanted an opposites, so I just had to move it to where I was coordinating these 3 as being opposites instead of 2 being opposites. But for the most part, it's a movable puzzle, playable puzzle. The catchiness over here is not a critical problem. It is somewhat distracting. I can corner cut through it a little bit. Sometimes though, the turning is quite marked, so I have to just sort of adjust it, but it doesn't take too much, just a little jimming, and it should do it. So, nice puzzle, very well put together. Fun solve, pretty simple solve when it comes to just solving the algorithms. Certainly if there's a crazy version of it, it would enhance the challenge of it if that's what you should want. Anyway, there you have it. Thanks for watching.